Partner statue has grown to be one of the most sought after on Veve, but now with the second iconic piece of the Steamboat Mickey released, many are wondering which one is going to be more sought after than the other and which one should we be picking up. In this episode of Veve Versus, that's exactly what we're going to be covering. Welcome in everyone, my name is Andy and I appreciate you taking some time out your day to come and watch this video on the channel. Before we get started, if you are enjoying this content and you want to help me push this forward as well as get some exclusive benefits, you can join down below. The link is in the description as well as just the join button on PC. If you want to see more of this types of content, that is the best way to support me. Welcome into Veve Versus, the series where I put two collectibles up against each other, we discuss the strategy behind them, what we should be looking at picking up, and then my winner at the end to what I feel is going to be the best over the long run. Today we're going to be discussing an absolute behemoth, and that is the partner statue versus Steamboat Mickey that was just released by Disney. By the way, I got given this poster by my brother for Christmas, and oh my god, it's insane. I cannot wait to put it up. I just wanted to put it in the background. We already know how important and significant Disney really are. I mean, you can see from here that the brands in 2021 alone, Disney's sitting at around 55.2 billion and often sits within the top 10 and guaranteed in the top 100 companies in the world when it comes to their whole significance in what they truly play. Disney Plus themselves have over 118 million users, and that just makes the surface of what Disney truly hold. They own a vast variety of different companies like Fox, Marvel, and so much more, and are still continuing to move forward. There's a ton of things that are truly making the world shift in the direction to what Disney really is. This is why the drops that have been happening for Disney on Veve have been so significant and so important for the growth of this company to see what this truly can hold and what the value of this could be in the future. Let's first have a look at the partner statue and what that is. So if we bring it up here, the price of the floor right now is 12.6k. There's 4,333 total editions with 189 on the market, and that's around 4%. This is the first ever appearance of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse themselves, was a part of the Disney Golden Moments, was the only ultra rare within that set, being golden as well. This drop brought a whole new user base onto Veve. There were so many new people who were signing up when the Disney Golden Moments happened. We broke our records on everything when people were going for the drops. We had over 100,000 going for them. I'm guessing now that has probably doubled and more, but at that time, having 100,000 people going for the drop, when their aim back in April or something was having 65,000 users on the platform itself, is just something insane to think about. Walt Disney and Mickey holding hands is one of the most significant pieces of all time. And yes, in the physical world, when it comes to collecting something like that, it might not be. But with an average of around 20 million visitors each year to Disneyland themselves who pass this partner statue, it's no wonder that this represents what Disney is, and just as a whole was probably the best piece that they could have made the ultra rare in the Disney Golden Moments series. Most people will know what the partner statue is if they've ever been to Disneyland. They would have saw it, they would have passed it, and it's something that they would recognize at the blink of an eye. It is Walt Disney, the creator of Disney, and Mickey Mouse, probably the most significant character that Disney will ever have in their lifetime. But it's not to say that other things like Spider-Man, who I know are still sort of owned by Sony and Marvel, is a mix-up, and you've also got things like Snow White, Cinderella, Elsa, and all that sort of stuff. Walt Disney and Mickey themselves is what most people know Disney for, what they are and how powerful of a brand and a company and the way that Disney make you feel, many have a good feeling towards and actually really enjoy. If we then move on to the second drop that we had when it came to Disney, and it was Steamboat Willie. It was the first ever appearance of Mickey Mouse back in 1928. This animation was the first ever time that we got to see Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. It's something that a lot of people will hold dear to them when it comes to the significance of what this drop truly means. We can also see here that in Disney Animation Studios, they actually used the Steamboat Willie for their sort of introduction when it comes to Walt Disney animation, which is awesome to see. It's going to show that the people who are watching these Disney Animation Studio films are going to be seeing Steamboat Willie consistently when they are putting these films on. It's something they're going to see constantly, and the amount of people who actually watch these films is well over the amount of people who are able to visit Disneyland and see the partner statue each year. This is why there's been this sort of collision of which is going to be more significant, because Steamboat Willie is the first ever appearance of Mickey Mouse himself. It was what started this $70 billion company that still today is moving forward to places that we would never have imagined it doing so. Having that as an animation and with sound is really making people think that this could overtake Partners and this could be the holy grail of all holy grails. Now when it comes to Steamboat Willie himself and the ultra rare specifically, the price right now is sitting at about 5.3k with 6,928 editions and 525 on the market. That's round about 7.5% of the full supply that's currently on the market. It's not the first appearance on Veve of Mickey Mouse, as that is the partner statue, but it is the first ever true appearance of Mickey himself in the physical format, as well as Mickey on his own. And with this ultra rare, he is animated as well as has sound, which then adds to the support of how significant this drop is. Both of these are insanely important to what Disney is as a whole. Having the first ever appearance of Walt and Mickey holding hands, and then also having the first ever true appearance of Mickey himself with animation and sound, are two that are very hard to compare about what could come on top and why. Some of the arguments have been based on the first ever appearance on the app. Other arguments have been based on the true significance of Steamboat Willie and Mickey himself, as that's what started this company to become what it is today. And we're going to try to look at it a little bit deeper and understand more about what the logical investor will look at, what I'm going to look at, and then try to come up with a conclusion to which you should maybe pick up if you have the gems to do so. Let's go to my favourite place of all time, and that is the Comey Wiki. And we're going to start with the partner statue here. We can see that from when the floor originally happened, he did sit around 2.4k, and I actually managed to pick up a partner statue at 2.1k when he was fluctuating really sharp at that area. And this was just as the market opened, so you only had a couple of days before he was sitting at 6.7k and then up to 11k. Now he has taken a few drops at some points down to 7.8k, and now is all the way back up to about 12.7. And this is truly incredible to see the fluctuation in prices that Walt has actually taken and how important this FA could be. And when we flip it over to the ultra rare that we have got right now, we can see that he did start around 4k, dropped all the way down to about 2.5, and has taken a few dips here and there to 2.6, but now is sitting roughly about 5.3k and has still been climbing since then. When we zoom out a little bit, we can see that we're probably about right here when it comes to the partner statue compared with the All Together Now or Steamboat Willie as what he is. We've taken that dip, which you can see here, and now we're slowly starting to climb, which the partners had done so. I see us taking another jump at some point if we're following this same trend, but of course partners has been out for longer than the ultra rare Steamboat, so we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see what the price is going to fluctuate, but if it follows the same trend and if they both move together. The difference that we have here as well is that the partner statue himself isn't actually a part of multiple of them. The Steamboat has two other variants with the common and the uncommon, so there are others in that set who have quite a lot of additions, meaning a lot more people can actually afford these and can get into them without having to splash all the money that's a part of it. When we've looked at other exclusive groups before, we're talking like the Secret Rare Marvels comic, we're talking the Secret Rare Spider-Man, Todd McFarlane Batman. They're all the exclusive groups for certain reasons with the minimum amount of people who can actually afford them. When it comes to the Steamboat Mickey, he has around 2,500 odd editions more than the partner statue, as well as the partner statue being the only ultra rare in the Disney series, golden for the Disney Celebration, as well as the first ever appearance of Walt and Mickey themselves. To me, that means the partners group in itself is one that's going to form, is going to be more valuable than the ultra rare when it comes to the Steamboat, purely based on edition sizes and the significance of the first appearance of it. So when I talk about first appearance then, does that mean the most to the regular investor, the logical investor, and the people who are getting into this? Is the first appearance something that people are going to put above all of them, even if the significance of the first ever appearance of Mickey out with the platform is the Steamboat one? Well, let's have a look at some other data to maybe get to a better conclusion with this. When we have a look at comics, because we've already got them on Veve, so it's quite good to compare them, we can see that the #1 comic in the world is the first ever appearance of Superman, meant to be the holy grail of holy grails. And if we move up a little bit, we can see that Amazing Fantasy 15 is the first appearance of Spider-Man, Detective Comics is the first appearance of Batman, All-Star Comics, the debut appearance of Wonder Woman, also got X-Men 1 with the debut appearance of Mutants, Cyclops, Beast, and Magneto, Tales of Suspense, which is introducing Iron Man, Marvel Comics 1 with the first ever issue of Marvel themselves, and Captain America 1, with all being their first appearances of what these comic books are. If we then go into something else when it comes to Pokemon cards, we can see that the first edition Shadowless holographic Charizard is the most expensive we've saw when it comes to Pokemon cards themselves. This is the first edition. As we can see from here, this little number 1 shows us the first edition with the Shadowless holographic on the Charizard. The other 2 variations don't sell for as much as this one, and again it does go to show that first appearances for something do matter. When we move on again onto the sports scene, this was a little bit harder for me to come to a conclusion with because I couldn't actually find the first ever card, but I know for Kobe Bryant's rookie cards there's around 16 cards total that were all released in the same year for his rookie one. Now we could base it on the number alone with the first one that was released, which is 19 here, but if we go to the most expensive one, we can see that it was actually the 138, which sold for $1.79 million. Again, I'm not 100% sure. If there's someone who collects basketball cards, please let me know which was the actual first to ever be released for Kobe Bryant. But again, when we're looking at rookie cards, this would have been the first ever collection of Kobe Bryant's cards in the world, meaning this is what people put significance on when it comes to the cards themselves. And I'm guessing a lot of his rookie cards actually sell for a fair bit, especially after the tragic loss that we had from him. But this is not to say that other rookie cards definitely don't go for a lot. With what they had done, I'm sure Michael Jordan's as well as LeBron James's go for a lot of money, and people are willing to pay for them because they're the first ever appearance of these cards and of these professionals in the world. We can see from here that first appearance matters a lot, and although we're in a new space now where there's a lot of new digital collectors coming in, so we're going to have to figure out how we react and how the logical investor reacts. To me, in the beginning, as we bring in mass adoption over the next decade or so, first appearance is going to matter to a lot of people because we're still going to have to transition into a new digital era. There's going to have to be a new market trend. There's going to have to be a new market that establishes itself as we move into this new world. But from a logical standpoint, when we have people who are coming into this space, they're first initially going to compare the past to what the future is going to hold. We can see that first appearance in the past made the most sense because that was the first ever appearance of a Charizard, the first ever appearance of Captain America in a comic book. This is the first ever appearance of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse in the digital space ever. That is what's going to hold the significant value. That's what the logical person is going to think of. This is the one that I need to get. Although Mickey Mouse himself and the Steamboat character is the first ever physical appearance we've had of Mickey Mouse himself, it isn't the first appearance on the app and it isn't the first appearance in the digital world. So we may then be thinking, if we have the first ever appearance being the partner statue, does that not mean that it instantly wins? Well, we have to maybe look again at the crypto investors and who they average out as right now anyway. You can see from the National Opinion research that they found that crypto investors are also younger than stock market investors, with the average age being 38 compared to 47 in the stock market. And when we also look at another data set that was made by the State of UK Crypto Report and Gemini, we found that between the ages of 18 and 44, interest in holding cryptocurrencies is high, but that drops significantly at the age of 45. So it seems like most people who are in the crypto and NFT space are younger than 45 and are willing to accept this change more than what's going on with the world, which is probably what we see more often or not in history, especially when we got into like the web stages and then social media, and now moving on to this NFT and blockchain phase of this generation. What this shows me is that we're looking at Steamboat Willie being released in 1928. The majority of us who know what Steamboat Willie is don't actually have the emotional attachment to the show or to the viewing itself. But when it comes to maybe something like the partner statue, might be quite a lot of us who have grown up who actually get the chance to go to Disneyland, either in Paris, Florida, or wherever else Disney is, and have actually saw the partner statue in real life. Something that a lot of people would have strong emotional attachments to what Disney is as a whole and how that place actually made them feel. I've been very fortunate to have the chance to actually go to Disneyland myself in Florida when I was younger. I can tell you from my experience that Disney in itself makes you feel a different way. There's some strong feelings I have when it comes to visiting Disneyland and the feeling of happiness you get when you're there. People are enjoying themselves, family are with one another, you're going on exhilarating rides, and it's an experience that I've actually yet to find anywhere else when it comes to visiting a place. I'm sure those of you who've been fortunate enough to visit themselves too have probably felt that way. So I feel when I see the partner statue, I have way more emotional attachment to it than something like Steamboat Willie, although it has so much significance. And I'm sure there are other people who probably agree on that front. Both of these are incredibly significant. Something that made history what it is today. Disney wouldn't be what it was if Mickey didn't make that first appearance. And Walt Disney and Mickey themselves wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Walt, who decided to create Disney and make it into what it is today. Both of these are truly incredible, and something that I believe is going to go down in history as being one of the best that you could pick up. So for the final verdict of this Veve Versus series, I'm going to be choosing the partner statue, the true holy grail of both of these in this episode. And I want to make this clear that that does not mean Steamboat Willie is something that is useless and you should never pick it up. Because I have the ultra rare Steamboat and also the partner statue, so I have both. I'm not biased towards one or the other. That is just the analysis that I've came from when it comes to all the data that I've been shown throughout this video. The partner statue is the first ever appearance of Walt Disney and Mickey. And I don't think we're ever going to get Walt Disney again in any NFT, as I just don't feel it's necessary. But when it comes to Mickey, I think we're going to get even more serious when it comes to Mickey. We're going to have all of them from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, as well as maybe some other special ones with the Fantasia hat on and more. But when it comes to having Walt Disney himself, the creator of Disney, in the first ever appearance in the Golden Moments celebration, it's just something you can't really compete with. I think both of these will be holy grails within the app in 5, 10 and 15 years. Because they still hold true significance of what they are. And I will be holding these for years on end because of how much I appreciate them and what meaning they hold behind them. The Steamboat also is part of a series where there's a common and uncommon, whereas the Walt Disney only has 4,333 editions and that's it. There's a lot more people who can uniquely hold the Steamboat Willie himself, but not when it comes to the partners. It's not to say that devalues it in any way, but it does lower some form of price just purely based on edition sizes. So for me, that's why I'm voting for the partner statue being the better of the two if you're able to pick them up. But if you can't, and it's only something that you can hold for a couple hundred gems, Common is still a great pickup to have and to hold for its historical value and the significance that it has. I love both of these collectibles, and I think they'll both go down in history as being one of the greats. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments and my analysis on this. Do you think I'm wrong? Think the Steamboat will overtake it easily? And I'd love to know why. If you've enjoyed the content and you want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button as we upload a lot about Veve as well as the crypto and finance space. I'd love for you to be a part of this family. I know the video on the screen right now will be something you'll love to watch. Have a fantastic day.